This is one insane story. It is a murder that happened around Thanksgiving, and so because Thanksgiving's coming up, I wanted to do this case in honor of Sara Tokars. You see, in 1992 in Georgia, the Tokars family lived in Marietta. This was 39-year-old Sara, her husband Fred, and their sons who were just 6 and 4 at this time, who were Ricky and Michael. Now, Sara was known to be a homemaker and was dedicated to being involved in her son's schools as well as the church. She had actually met Fred 8 years prior in 1984. They were an average family, not very notable, just peaceful and normal. Until November 29th of 1992, Sara was headed back home from a weekend at her parents' home with her 2 boys for Thanksgiving. Their father, Fred, had to work that weekend, so he wasn't able to stay the full time. So 2 days prior, Sara had actually packed up her and the boys and driven to Bradenton, Florida, stopping at the Tampa airport to pick up Fred, who was staying for that short time for Thanksgiving, and then he had to head back to get back to work. But this was going to be before Sara and the boys were ready to leave, which is why he was flying. But Sara and the boys had headed home and they had never made it there. Her children would knock on the stranger's door and tell them that their mother had been shot. This traumatized 6-year-old boy would then tell the police that when they arrived at their home that evening, they had opened the garage door and found a man with a gun. He ordered them back into their vehicle and he told their mother to drive as he sat behind her holding the gun to her. The 6-year-old said that his 4-year-old brother was sleeping at the time, unaware what was going on, and Sara was forced to drive further into the city, and then he began to tell her to pull over the car and turn off the car. Now, Sara actually refused, and that is when the 6-year-old said that this man shot her in the back of the head. The 6-year-old boy explained that this man got out of the car with the gun, leaving them in as the car was still on, and began to roll away down the hill. Now, he had learned how to put the car into park or turn the car off through his mother, and so he was able to turn the car off, get his little brother out, and go and ask for help. 911 was called by that homeowner, and they found that a shotgun had been used on Sara Tokars. They began to sweep the car for any evidence, and the 6-year-old was telling investigators just what his mother's killer looked like. He described him as a black male wearing jeans, a sweatshirt, and a cap. So Cobb County Sheriff's Office put Detective Pat Banks on the case. He arrived at the scene and he found that inside of this vehicle was lots of blood that was even on these 2 boys, and this was along with fragments of Sara's skull and brain, which was also on her son's.